Hello, everybody. Today's already the end of March, March 25th. Today's wonderful presenter, Mike Mandl. I am so excited to introduce you to everybody. Mike is such a great teacher. He's been teaching, sharing shiatsu over 30 years, and he is the director of the International Academy for Hara Shiatsu in Vienna. And he has so many great books. Today, he's going to talk about his new book called Meridians Map of the Soul. It's such a huge topics and such a great topics. I am so happy to have Mike. Please tell us all about your book. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the invitation. Much appreciated. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about my new book. Yes, it's about the meridians or the channel system. And I think the channel system, it's one of the greatest gifts we have in Shiatsu, but not only in Shiatsu, but I think in bodywork in general. And I also believe that Western medicine could benefit a great deal from trying to understand the channel system, because I think it's so unique and it's so holistic, and we cannot find a better system to bridge the connections between the body and the mind and the emotions. But what is funny though, in modern Shiatsu, I can see that the channel system becomes a little bit less popular, and also many Shiatsu styles they step away a little bit from the channel system, and you find many courses now, postgraduate trainings like channel-free Shiatsu or Shiatsu without channels, and we don't use the channels anymore, which I think it's nice. But on the other hand, my opinion is that the channel system invites us to explore it much more, because there's much more hidden in the channel system that we are touching right now. And so maybe this is also not very popular, but I would I can see three major misunderstandings concerning the channel system nowadays. So no, it's four. Actually, there are 4 points, four bigger misunderstandings or misinterpretations, and maybe it's nice to start with those points, because the rest can be read in the book. But first. Yeah, maybe not a misunderstanding, but we are not only working with 12 channels in Shiatsu or in TCM. That gives us a wrong picture of the whole channel system. And even if you work with the Masunaga extensions, still there are 12 main channels. But to understand the channel system, we have to see the channel system much more like the nervous system. And if you have pictures in your mind from the nervous system, you know that the nervous system, it's big. Like the nervous system is penetrating our whole body. There is literally no place where you cannot find the nervous system. And the meridian system, the channel system, is quite similar. It's like the nervous system. There is no place in the body where you don't find a channel. But if you're looking for numbers in older TCM books or in Taoist texts, you read about like 72,000 channels. I mean, I have no idea who counted them, but if they use numbers like this, they just want to say, okay, there are really a lot of them. But I think it's important to keep in mind that the channel system is structured like the nervous system, but also in the nervous system you find like bigger strings of nerves where many parts of the nervous system come together. And you could say that the 12 main channels that have become popular, they are like the bigger strings of the nervous system. But actually, it's the channel system is everywhere, which is very interesting then, because if you consider this, there is no channel-free shiatsu. You cannot do shiatsu without channels. It's almost impossible. It would be like touching someone without touching a nerve. It's also impossible. And so it's I think it's a choice. Then you have to make a choice. You can say, okay, I don't want to use the connections of the channel systems, which is very fine, but then it's a choice. But it's not possible to say I make channel-free shiatsu or I don't touch the channels. You're not able to do that because it's everywhere. So I think it's good to know that it's much bigger, and that the 12 main channels, they have become popular because of the modern traditional Chinese medicine. I call it modern traditional Chinese medicine. Why? Because in the Cultural Revolution, they tried to cut out everything of the TCM system, which was not medical or seemed like medical. So they tried to press like a big system that involved spiritual cultivation, the evolution of the individual. You know, they cut everything out and to press it into a medical system, because Mao liked the idea to make TCM look like a Western medicine, and then we were left over with 12 main channels. But it's not like that. But point one, it's everywhere. It's really big. It's like the nervous system. So, and we can use the connections for our advantage, or we can ignore that these connections are here. I think that's an important point. Second point, always happens with the channel system. To work with the channel system, it's not meant to only address illnesses or disharmonies, and sometimes the channel system is presented in that way. You know, okay, you have a lung qi deficiency, and then I work on the lung channel, and the lung deficiency is gone, nice. But that was never the idea really of the channel system. Again, this is part of the modern traditional Chinese medicine. But the original idea of the channel system was the channel system allowed us to get in contact with the soul. And, you know, you cannot include the soul in a medical system, but it was meant like this. The meridian system helps us to get in touch with the soul of a person. And there, in all the texts, you find quite beautiful expressions like that the meridian system, the meridians, they're the roots of the soul, and we are the roots. The soul anchors herself into the body. And I think that's a very nice picture. So even if you work with the 12 main channels, was never meant to be that we just treat illnesses or disharmonies. The channels are here that we can touch the soul. They're the roots of the soul. And in other texts, they call the channels the heavenly streams, which I also think is a very beautiful expression. It's like the streams from heaven pouring down into our body. And what does this mean? The streams of heaven, there is a spiritual connection or a connection to something higher. And that was the original purpose of the channel system, that we are able to connect to something higher. And also, like to the point I mentioned before, so if you go really just one step further from the let's say, basic level of TCM, you will find out that you're not only working with 12 channels, but they like to use 72 channels, like 72 channels, and this is also very interesting. 72 is a very interesting number. 72 is a mystic number, more or less all over the globe in all energetic, mystic cultures. You will find the number 72, and also in religion, like the 72 disciples of Jesus, or the 72 warriors of Mohammed, and the 72 virgins, the 72 names of God in the Kabbalah. Even in stones, you have 72 blue stones in one circle. And I just read recently that even Leonardo da Vinci has a 72 marked in the Mona Lisa, which is also very interesting. But whenever you stumble across the number 72, it's like a mystic realm. So you can walk through the door and get in contact with spiritual energies, mystic energies. And so I think it was no accident that they work with 72 channels in TCM. It was meant like that. 72, because this is a door where you can go deeper beyond the body. And yeah, the roots of the soul. So why? And that's very interesting, because also from the history, so the medical systems of Asia, they were always linked to a self-cultivation system. If you look at TCM Taoism. So but the goal of Taoism was it's a spiritual path, and out of this path there was a medical branch, because maybe it's difficult to take for 10 hours if you have back pain or toothache or headache. So of course you have to treat illnesses as well. But the idea of the soul in the Taoist thinking is very beautiful, because the soul is the bridge between the material and the pure consciousness. So it's very hard to get in contact with pure consciousness from the perspective of the material world. So you kind of need a bridge, but it's also hard to get in contact with the pure consciousness through practice, meditation, yoga, qigong. But if in contact with the soul, you're one step closer to pure consciousness. So the soul really is kind of a bridge between materia and non-materia, between the material world and the spiritual world. This is why it has so much importance, and this is also the reason why so many of classics are in a poetic way, because poetry touches the soul, not the mind. But long story short, the idea of the meridian system is that we can treat illnesses and disharmonies. This is right, but this is all a very small part of the whole idea. The core idea is that we are the channel system. We are able to touch the soul of the body of the person, and to start a spiritual self-developmental journey. And I think that's a very nice point, because sometimes in Shiatsu, the idea is you work with the channels, you take Shiatsu, or you people. It's not true. It was never meant like this. You use the channels to work with the soul. So I think that's a little bit of a second misunderstanding, that the channels, no, they are not here for illnesses and disharmonies. You can use them, but that's just, I don't know, 5% of the whole story. Very controversial one, but Kumiko, you said we should discuss more, and I think that's a good idea, yeah, because the third point is we have some kind of energetic anatomy, We really have some kind of energetic anatomy, and this anatomy is not subject of personal interpretation. But this is not a mic view. Sorry for that. This is not a small mic view. it's just like it is. So why? Because in Shiatsu, but in general, you know, like all over the world, there are certain energetic laws. It's like gravity. Gravity is kind of a law. Of course, you can hack gravity, you can fly, maybe some people can. I'm not able to do it, but anyway, we have energetic laws. And one energetic law is that as above, so we build below. So what is in heaven has to reflect on earth, and what is in earth has to reflect in heaven. And also what is inside has to reflect on the outside, and what is outside has to reflect on the inside. So there are interconnections. And the point is, energy influences matter, and matter influences energy. So, and I think we all agree to these laws. But this means we have an energetic anatomy, because everyone has a spine. Every one of us has a spine, for example. Everyone has a spine. Maybe the spine looks a little bit different. So every spine is individual, but basically every person has a spine. So the spine has a reflection in the energetic world. So the spine has like a mirror in the energetic world. And you could say, what is the mirror of the spine in the energetic world? That's more or less the Dumai, you could say. The Dumai is like the mirror of the spine in the energetic world. And you have the Renmai, for example, which can be linked to the vagus nerves. But you can see it's just two examples. But I want to point out that the meridian system has a very clear anatomy. It has a very clear structure, because it's the mirror of our body. Or you could see it the other way around too. Like if energy builds our body, we are built all more or less the same. So even if you take the other way around, if you would say energy creates matter, yes, but the energetic pattern that creates our physical matter has to be similar in every person. We have individual takes, individual strengths. That's all true. But in general, there is kind of an energetic structure that is universal, and one should do the work and scan all energetic systems and overlap them. And I think if you would overlap all energetic systems, you would kind of get an idea of this energetic anatomy. For example, in almost every tradition, you will find like a central channel. We call it Changmai, but in almost every energetic tradition, there is kind of a central channel. And in almost every energetic tradition, you have energy fields. You can call them chakras or dantians, it doesn't matter, but you find them everywhere. So I think it's a good point. I would like to open up a discussion about that subject, but that the meridian system is not so much a subject of personal interpretation. It's a reflection of our physical body in the energetic world. So we have a very clear structure. We have similarities all over the globe. Well, that was already a lot of stuff, huh? But 3 nice points to start with, because I don't know, it's such a huge topic. So from all these points, I just want to give away a little bit of inspiration. And yes, the inspiration, no, it's like the nervous system. So we should keep that in mind. The second point is it's the bridge to the soul. So we are not working with the illnesses and disharmonies with the channel systems. We can, and it's important with some persons, but it's more to address the soul. And the third one is like, there is a clear structure. There's a logic behind the meridian system. It's not so much a personal interpretation. It's just because there are so many discussions because we are not able to see it, or let's say it like this, most of the people are not able to see it. But we don't need our eyes to believe that something is true. And there was a fourth point as well, yes, but that's maybe a minor point. Where do we touch the meridians? On which level do we touch the meridians? But I think that's obvious, because if it's like the nervous system, it's like from the skin to the bones, everywhere is the channel system. So it depends on where I want to get in contact with which part of the channel system, and or what does the body or what does the body tell me where it wants to be touched. So I think we should not make like common recommendations that we should touch soft on the skin, or we should go deep with our pressure. I think that's a very fluid process, and if you just stick to the skin, that's very fine, but you're just touching one of 5 possible levels. So just that there is a sliding scale, and that many discussions how the pressure should be. I think they just pick out one level of the whole channel systems and stick with that, which is basically also very fine. But on the other hand, it's you should not say the pressure should be light or deep or like that or like this, because it depends on you cannot say it like that. So yeah, some points to think about for the start, Komiko. I don't know. How should I continue? I mean, I could talk for hours, but I hope it doesn't get boring.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, keep talking. That's great.
So so the idea of the book basically was I wanted to write something for the clients. So that was the idea why I wrote the book, because you're all professionals, you know it. And so you come to the point where you tell every client the same story, yeah, don't you? You tell them the same story all over again. And I've been doing Shiatsu now for 30 years, and I had thousands of clients. So I'm a little bit tired of explaining it to every client. So I said, why not write a book? Why not write a book? And that makes it much easier. You know, like you read chapter 9, that's for you. Perfect. Okay. If you come with questions, I'm happy to answer your questions. But first read, then come back with questions. So I try to, it's maybe not the most, you know, book with like hardcore depth inside. It's not like that. I wanted to write it for the clients, but also to present the idea of the channel system to a wider audience, because I think this is a very beautiful thing we can share with a wider audience. And also in Vienna, in our school, we do a lot of hospital work. So we have a lot of cooperation with clinics. So we have to talk with doctors, we have to talk with medical staff. And one big point is always like, how do we explain what we are doing? So I think our task as Shiatsu practitioners is to find a language where we can explain to other people what we are doing. For our work, it's not really necessary, but to get an exchange, and also for me to get involved, and to give alternative medicine a chance to be integrated into Western medicine. But I think if we want that, it's our task. So we have to knock on the doors, and we have to say, hello, here we are, this is what we do. And if they have questions, we should be able to explain them in a way so that it is understandable for the other persons. So this was also one aspect of the book. But what I found out in my work, and as I mentioned it already, I like to work with the soul. I'm not so much interested anymore in treating, like, you know, lung qi deficiency, liver qi stagnation. Of course, we do it. We have to do it, because I think if you reflect on our role as Shiatsu practitioners, I think it's good if we can offer everything. It's like, and there is also one very beautiful picture that inspired me for my work. It's a classical Taoist idea, and the idea is that you have three levels of medicine, and so you have medicine for the earth. So what does this mean? Medicine for the earth. Medicine for the earth means if someone comes with problems, with illnesses and disharmonies, we are able to treat that. We are able to treat that too. That's the medicine for the earth. So we should be able to cure disharmonies. Everyone on his or her own level, but I think that's important. And the second medicine is the medicine for the human, for the person. What does this mean? If you are not sick, if you don't have problems, it's good to make your constitution, your overall well-being stronger and better. So that's the second level of medicine. And I think in Shiatsu, that could be our core focus. We are very good in that. But it's good to have in mind that this is just one level of 3 levels. Just you could say to accompany people in a healthy lifestyle, where where they get in touch with themselves and just lead a better life. Basically, that's it on all levels. And the third level of medicine is the medicine for heaven. And what does this mean? A medicine for heaven is like also to have the potential in the medicine to go into the direction of a spiritual path. And I think this is also very important. So medicine also includes a spiritual path, and or should include a spiritual path. And but you can choose one level and make it very strong, which is also very fine. But if you follow like a holistic idea, I think also as a practitioner, or however you call yourself, as an energetic doctor, I don't care. But it's good that you see there are 3 levels, and no level is better than the other. No level is better than the other, and it's nice for me, let's say like this, for me, it's nice to work on all 3 levels, to develop skills on all 3 levels, because sometimes, many people, maybe they come with a really bad back pain, really bad back pain, and they're not able to move anymore. And then, yes, I don't ask them, what is your spiritual mission on earth, what is your, how far are you away from enlightenment? The only thing they want is just please make my back better, and let's start from here. Okay, you have back pain, let's do it. And if I have toothache, all I want is please make the toothache gone, make it away, please, come on, Don't tell me about not eating sugar, don't tell me about cleaning the teeth 3 times a day. Make the pain away. Okay, and if you're good at that, I give you my trust. And if I give you my trust, I can go the next step, and then I can go the next step. So you could say there are 3 levels of medicine, and it's very funny because in the Western countries, we mostly refer to Masunaga Shiatsu, and Masunaga himself came up with the quote, Shiatsu is the king of medicine, or the queen of medicine, whatever. But because he saw this idea, like that you have a sliding scale where only with your hands, you're able to treat a lot of symptoms till accompany a person into the direction of a spiritual path. And in contemporary Shiatsu, I think it's kind of funny that we have these fragments, because fragments, if I talk to people and I tell them I work in hospitals, are you the medical Shiatsu guy? No, I'm not. It's just one medicine I like to use to get in touch with the people. And other people call their Shiatsu spiritual Shiatsu. I think it's why, it's all, it's yin and yang. It's yin and yang. So it's not only one thing, but so And with the channels system, I think we have this very beautiful approach to work on all 3 levels. I liked it, that with the channel system, we work on all 3 levels. But the main channels, that's very interesting. I see the main channels more as a tool for personal development, let's say it like this. So if we look at the development of the meridians, like in the womb, when we are still in the womb, the development of the body goes along with the Jijing Bamai, with the 8 extra meridians. So in the womb, the body develops more under the influence of the 8 extra meridians. And you could call that the pre-heaven state, So this is like the most basic blueprint we get for our bodies, because the extra meridians are very much linked also to the Jing, to the essence, and build out of the essence the blueprint of our body. So the development in the womb is more along the development of the 8 extra meridians. But after birth, the development goes. It's not that, it's this one is over, the next one starts. It's all mixed up. So you have sliding scales, of course you have. But when we are born, it's more that the main channels kick in and take over the work. And the good question is, so yeah, what is a channel anyway? I think that's always a very good question. What is a channel anyway? Because I think our problem is, I know it, we're talking with so many doctors, everyone has this idea of abstract energy system in the body, and there is this mystical substance of chi flowing along this channel, and that's it. Also, this is true. Don't get me wrong. This is very true. This is one part of the channel system. This is really one. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. But that's hard to touch. That's hard to touch and hard to explain. And but channels are much more. And I always like to explain it with the stomach meridian, because it's people understand it very easily. So what is a channel? If we look at the stomach meridian, where does it start? It starts here, like it starts like under the eyes. So because if you're hungry and you go to your fridge, what do? You open the fridge, and the first thing you do is you look around. Oh man, nice, I have hunger. Maybe this looks nice. I will try this one. And then you take it out of the fridge. But maybe, like myself, I've been now 8 days in northern Germany. I was not at home. Then you think it looks good, but I'm not sure. So what do? You smell. You smell. Maybe it's still eatable. Then you smell. And if it looks good and if it smells good, you put it in your mouth. And then you chew it, and then you swallow it, and then it comes into your stomach. But then it's also interesting. Chewing is here. Stomach number 6, and chewing, like the temporalis, it's one of the biggest chewing muscles, is up to here. So you have stomach number 8. So you could see it's not an abstract line. So the stomach meridian connects the senses with the muscles, with the fascia, with the organ. So you could say a meridian connects every aspect of a physical being that goes along with one main function. And you could say, what is the function of the stomach meridian? Is taking something in to nourish ourselves. That's the basic function of the stomach meridian, to take something in to nourish ourselves. And so yes, the story goes on, of course, because it goes to the legs, etc., etc. But till here, it's very logic. And even medical persons can understand this. Ah, yes, this is the idea of the stomach. And here, it's obvious. But then again, you could say meridians connect parts in our being that are related to one life principle. They are connections. They make connections visible. And so what is the life principle of the stomach meridian? To take something in order to nourish us. But it's not only food. It's not only food. Yeah, the body needs food, yes, but the soul needs love, for example. The soul needs more things, but the soul needs love. So then you're out in the bar, and what do? If the soul needs love, you look around. You look around. First thing you do, and then maybe you feel a little bit appetite. This person looks nice. Small appetite is here. Yeah. So what happens next? Of course, you walk towards the person. That's why you also need the stomach meridian on your feet. But then it's very interesting, and science confirms it. The next thing, and we don't. It's subconscious, but the next thing is smell. We smell the person. So it's the same process. Yeah. Seeing, smelling. And if everything is okay with seeing and smelling and blah, 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 a little bit of talking, afterwards is kissing. And then the soul feels the love, you know, so you're able to take love in. So it's the same. It's also, it's very funny to find love, to feed the soul is also job of the stomach meridian. And this is why you can see like that emotional problems are so much linked with the stomach. You know, if you're absolutely in love, for example, if the soul gets so much energy and is so fed by the love, you don't need to eat anything. You don't need to eat anything, because the job of the stomach meridian, it has to have a zero balance on the bottom. That's the job of the stomach meridian. And if you get on one side so many things in, you could skip the food. I have 3 children, and you can watch it, see it with children as well. You know, if they are playing, if they are so much into playing, you know, they forget about the food, they forget about the temperature, they forget everything, because the playing nourishes the soul so much. But on the other hand, if you're not in love anymore, nothing feeds the soul. Stomach meridian is horrible, empty. What do you do then? You know, you need chocolate all day, or you need nothing at all, because you have to digest all the emotions. It can happen too, but you get the idea. And also the stomach is meridian is responsible for the nourishment on our mental level, because also our mind needs nourishment. And but this is a problem in our society, because the stomach meridian has to take so much information in and digest it. It's too much. It's too much. This is why we have so many eating disorders, diabetes, etc., etc., etc. So, but coming back to the idea of the life principle, life principle of the stomach meridian is, okay, yes, I want to take something in that can nourish me. Other people say, yes, also the ability to go out and hunt for those things. It's also part of the stomach meridian, to have appetite for the things I want. But a healthy stomach meridian enables you to go out into the world, to go for the things you need to feel satisfied. That's a healthy stomach meridian. That's his life principle. And if you watch like where it runs, it connects every thing in the body and our system that plays a role in this process. But the point is, that's tricky, huh? That's not so easy. That's a big job. And so we have to learn that, you know, we have to learn that. So, and this is also the idea I wanted to point out in the book, that there is kind of there is an evolution in the energetic system. So yes, we are born with everything. Remember, energetic anatomy. So the physical body reflects on the energetic world. So of course we are born with the whole meridian system, but that does not mean that every meridian is fully developed. And so we have to develop a meridian too. It's the same like you're born, you're 2 months old, you know, you have a mouth, you have a tongue, but you're not able to speak, you know, you have legs, you have muscles, you're not able to walk, you know, you have eyes, you can see, but you're not able to recognize. So it's a process of development, and this development goes in stages. So it's very natural. So the first thing that should function is that you are able to sustain your body with sufficient energy so that you're able to survive. Like you're separated from your mother, so you need to create your own energy from the food you get, from the air you breathe, and also like from the touch you get. So in the first phase of our life, you know, there are different meridians more active than other meridians. The first meridians that are active, it's a lung, it's a large intestine, it's the stomach, and it's the spleen. And every mother knows, you know, getting the spleen running, that's hell of a job. You know, it takes around 6 months till the spleen is really running. The energetic pattern of the spleen is really running. Like you're able to take the milk or whatever you take in, hold it down, digest it, let it go. So you see that the whole small body is working on that. But then you can see also in early childhood, it's not about that you get the right amount of milk. What you need as well is touch, and it's love, and it's equally important. And there have been cruel, I would not say studies, but they found out, you know, like children that didn't get enough touch, you know, they can die. So you could say, if you grow up and you're fed perfectly, but your parents hate you, that's not good, because what will happen, like those meridians, they will not develop fully. They might develop on the physical plane, but not on the emotional plane, not on the mental plane, and maybe also not on the spiritual plane. Yes, you're still young, but you can see that early childhood trauma can accompany you your whole life, because it's like you build a house, you know, like you build a house, and that's the basement. And if the basement is like this, and everything you build on top of the basement will be like that too. And and then you come to the point where you try more or less, for example, that's very, you know, that's very reduced and simplified. But maybe if you didn't get enough love as a small child, it could be that you look your whole life for this love. So everything that comes on top of the maze of the basement is still this search for the love you didn't get as a small child. And this means then, this meridian, for example, you could say, yeah, maybe it's the stomach. Let's stay with the stomach meridian. Is not developed fully, so it does not serve you. It serves your history, or it serves that lack of energy you have into in your body. And then I think meridian work or shiatsu, or however you approach that pattern, can be so strong, because if you help through your work that this development can happen, you know, you change the whole, like the whole person. You change the whole person. And I think for me, that's the most interesting work with the meridians, to see which meridian has developed well, which one not, and then to work with the channels in a way that I help them to it's tricky to say, but so that you close the gap. You close the gap, and you close the gap. You can use the principle also again, that if I change something on the physical level, it will have an effect on the emotional and on the spiritual level as well. So if I do good body work, and for example, and you can see, yeah, stomach meridian, you know, maybe we would say it's kyo, or there is not enough power in it. But if I work on the physical level and try to bring that power back, it will change also the mental and the emotional state. And to make it easy for everyone, I tried to make but it actually it's not my work. It's just I just wrote it down. It's to give these ideas a voice. They're very old ideas, so I'm just a translator from very old ideas or insights. But to make it easier, so what is the life principle of the lung meridian? What is the life principle of the large intestine meridian? What is the life principle of the spleen meridian? And how does this affect our life? And then what we can do maybe to support the people. And yes, I mean, you know, it's total balance is an illusion. Total balance is an absolute illusion. We need a healthy kind of imbalance, yeah, because the wheel needs to keep on turning, you know. So, but it's I think only important point is, does the balance serve me? Does it really serve me? Or also, if it's a small imbalance, does it serve me? And that's the main question, because you will never ever develop like all meridians and all life principles and stuff like that. And or maybe you will do. It's possible. Basically, it's possible. But just to help people to, you know, it's like, if you see the meridians, you can imagine a wheel, yeah, a wheel. It's like a wheel, and the meridians, you know, they keep the wheel in shape. And if one meridian is slack and the other one is too tight, the wheel, the flow is not smooth, and you need much more energy to keep the wheel moving. So and then people feel, you know, they feel tired, they feel burnt out, and they feel they invest so much energy, but they don't come along. It can have to do because the wheel, you know, with the wheel like this, you cannot ride, and so that's it. That's it. That's at least not my idea of the meridian work, but to help the soul to feel, to flow easily through life. I think that's the basic idea of the meridian work. Well, here we go. That was it, huh? Any questions? I mean, you know, otherwise.
What a great talk. Oh, it's wonderful. I hope everybody can be inspired by Mike's talk and look at the meridians in a different angles and help your clients, help yourself to find your own path and cultivate the soul work. It's beautiful. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Any questions? Everybody's okay? Yes, wonderful. Get Mike's book, Map of Soul, Meridian, Map of the Soul. And Mike, you have another, yes, Mike, you have another book, right? Yin and Yang. That was so generous. Mike sent us PDF form. If you like, go to website and download and study. Let's study more and then be inspired, and let's inspire everybody. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Be safe, be happy, be healthy, and see you next time. Thank you.
Cheers.